All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakha Kodash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Another Vietnam War against Venezuela. All right, and this is what this article is going to go into. All right, because here Maduro, all right, is pleading, all right, as it would seem to the Americans, all right, to not let Trump, start a Vietnam War against Venezuela. But understand that, well, that's not really up to the Americans to decide, number one. All right. And number two, if that, which it seems very likely, but if that's the plan of the elites, which really what they want is just to go there for the resources, you know? And so they create all these false narratives and, oh, it's because of this, oh, it's because of that. America's become like the world police, which nobody asked for, you know? And oh, because of this and that, we have to go in there and go fix things. That's not really what they do. All right, so it says Maduro to Americans, you are bigger than Trump. Don't let him start Vietnam War against Venezuela. The Venezuelan president Nicolas Maduro called on the people in the US to deter the Trump administration from putting boots on the ground in Venezuela, warning that any intervention would backfire, leading to new Vietnam-like disaster. Now, the thing is, his plea probably wouldn't go far because of the fact that the U.S. media is already demonizing him. You know what I mean, making it seem like this, and the third, because that's what they always do to try and justify their actions. You know, to try and gain the support of the people. All right, by playing on their emotions and their and stuff like that. Okay. It says, in his first direct message to the American people, the Venezuelan leader urged them to stop the U.S. government from entangling the nation in a pointless and inherently doomed military adventure. Because Russia is involved in here, and so is China. Okay? It says, if the government of the United States intends to intervene us, they will have a much worse Vietnam than you could imagine. All right. It says the 4-minute video in Spanish with English subtitles was posted on Maduro's official Facebook page on Wednesday, shortly after he accused U.S. President Donald Trump of ordering the Colombian government and mafia to assassinate him, and rejected a European ultimatum to call snap presidential elections within 8 days. It says Maduro accused the U.S. media of waging a brutal campaign of false images to support the Trump's administration interference in Venezuela, which, I mean, that's something that they do. It's nothing new. They always do that. Okay. It says because they play on the people's minds, all right, to get consent, so to speak, all right, or support in what they're doing. When they're the ones behind it all. It says this campaign has been prepared to justify a coup d'etat in Venezuela that has been set, financed, and actively supported by Donald Trump administration. Effectively sidestepping his U.S. counterpart, Maduro urged Americans to second guess the distorted narrative peddled by the mainstream media. But, I mean, the average American doesn't even think that far. They just eat up whatever the news tells them to do, all right, and boom, that's it. So if the news tells them blah blah blah, they're gonna eat it straight up and just go with whatever the government says because they're supposedly for our best interests. You still have people like that. In 2019, with all the information that's out there exposing this devil, these people, especially our people, the Israelites, man, they're just dumbified to the T. All right, even though there's no T in dumb, but that's just how far they're gone. All right, so it says the embattled Venezuelan leader stated that Washington cannot use the same pretext to invade Venezuela as it did to justify the 2003 invasion of Iraq. So it's spreading new falsehoods about his government in hopes that something will tip the balance, you see? And that's exactly what they're doing. But the thing is, all these other nations have caught on to the tricks that the US plays, They're not falling victim to it again. All right, so it says they cannot invent that Venezuela and Maduro have weapons of mass destruction, so they could intervene. They now invent lies every day, false news to justify an aggression against our country. Maduro reiterated, and that's basically what they're gonna do. All right, to us, the prophets of the Most High. That's why you see how they started by calling us black Hebrew Israelites and blah 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 blah, and then they're gonna create lies and falsehoods to be able to use aggression against us. They do that. That's their narrative. All right. Um, Maduro reiterated that U.S. interests in Venezuela are limited exclusively to its vast natural resources. See, Venezuela boasts the world's largest confirmed oil reserves and the fourth largest reserves of natural gas. The president said that by fomenting unrest in Venezuela, the U.S. elites, see, elites, which a couple years ago people wouldn't even mention this because they weren't aware of it, but now everybody knows that it's really the what they call the deep state or the elites. All right, these Edomites, these rich banking families, these Rothschilds, these Rockefellers, these big old rich banking families, man, they're being exposed. They're being put to the forefront. The light is being shined on them, and they don't like that. Okay, but it says the U.S. elites want to put their hands on the national treasure as they did in Iraq and Libya. We are in a country of great resources, both natural and energetic. This is the truth, and this explains the constant attacks against Venezuela. That's why I appeal to your conscience and solidarity. He admitted that Venezuela faces a plethora of problems as any other country, and said Venezuelans can solve them by ourselves without any outside meddling. But what's the U.S. going? Oh, no, 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 no. We have to get in there and make sure that everything goes the way it's supposed to go. It's not our country, you know. We have no business over there, but we're gonna go there anyway. That's what the U.S. always does, you know. It says, describing himself as an admirer of U.S. history, Maduro said that he hopes that reasonable U.S. citizens will prevail, adding that America is a great country and it is much more than Donald Trump. United States is, and Donald Trump is just going to become a totalitarian, man, because he doesn't even listen to what anybody says, what he wants, well, which he really gets his orders from the elites anyway. All right, but they're using him as that major chess piece, all right, to get across whatever that they want him to do. All right. It says the United States is a great country, and it no, it's not, and it is as well as great in wickedness. All right, and it is much bigger than Donald Trump. He said, "I only ask for respect for Venezuela, and I need your support to avoid a war like Vietnam." More than 58,000 American soldiers were killed, and some 4 million Vietnamese died in what is now the second longest war in American history after Afghanistan. The U.S. sent first 3,500 combat troops to South Vietnam in March 1965 to fight against the communist government of North Vietnam that sought to unify the country under its terms. While the invention was first met enthusiastically by the American public, the protracted nature of the conflict and U.S. inability to turn the tide of the war led to a massive anti-war movement in the U.S. The last U.S. troops withdrew in 1973 following the Paris Peace Accords. In 1975, troops from the Democratic Republic of Vietnam entered Saigon and the capital of U.S.-backed South Vietnam, sealing the U.S. military defeat. All right. But man, understand that all these things that happen, the way they happen, these elites, majority of the reasons why these things happen are all made up stories by the elites to cover up the real reason why they did these things. Okay. So hey, Venezuela has really been in the news a lot lately, but we're gonna see what happens over there, man. All right. So Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Until next time, Shalom.